This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Raven x Beast Boy is a ship that I can best describe as headcanon. Yes, in spite of our mass delusion, these two never hooked up. In fact, they never even hinted at it. But in spite of reality, this fan favorite pairing was so popular, almost every piece of media about them afterwards has them being a couple. Which is a funny thing. Like, there's always that one pairing that fans will do terrible things for. Yet it is something else to actually change all the media that comes after it. Like, it's actually impressive and strange given how they're actually written in the show. So, in honor of monetizing my rewatches, let's talk about Beast Boy and Raven. Why did they get so popular? What was their relationship actually like? And how Raven's true love, if anyone, would apparently be Robin. This video is dedicated to a collective mass delusion, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
This is Sarcastic Chorus. But more importantly, let's talk about cybersecurity and my sponsor, Atlas VPN. VPNs aren't essential in today's society. Everywhere you go, every website you touch, every click is putting your information at risk. As if it isn't malware, it's ads blotting out your screen. But with Atlas, it's never been easier or cheaper to protect yourself or your sanity. At only $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee and a promise to not change the price for 3 years, now is the best time to try a VPN if you've never used one, as Atlas's user interface makes figuring out how to use it a breeze, as with one click you can get access to thousands of servers around the world, making it look like you're in a different country, protecting your data, and giving you access to region-locked content, letting you cut down on your subscriptions, as what may be on different streaming services in the US might all be on the same one in the UK. Then, because living in the US wasn't expensive enough, did you know a lot of the online prices you see every day online are actually way higher than the rest of the world's? For example, you can buy YouTube Premium in India for as little as $1.69 a month, versus in the US, where it's $11.99 a month. Yeah, you can do the math. Discount all your prices, cut down your subscriptions, and you can share it with the whole family. It has never been a better time to try, because right now, they are running a huge discount. You can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out though, so get your deal by clicking on the link in the description down below. Doing so will help support my channel and more importantly yourself and your family. Go check it out. Now, back to the video.
Next time, we're going to Mexico.
Now, talking about these two is kind of weird, as to really discuss it, we need to delineate between romantic moments and ones where they're just bonding. These two have plenty of times where they're bonding, mostly because they are as different as they come. Beast Boy is that worst combination of hyperactive, expressive, and thinking he's got jokes, while Raven is calculated, withdrawn, and exhausted by every second she's not in her room. So it makes sense to have these opposites play off each other, as they naturally want to throw hands. And from that conflict, they grow to better understand one another. That just because Raven is an introvert doesn't mean that she doesn't care or love her friends. Or that Beast Boy, for all his attempted humor, doesn't discount the fact that he has some skeletons in his closet. And it's understanding that which helps them grow closer. However, just because they're bonding doesn't mean that it's romantic. You see, as a fan, it is so easy to take these little moments of characters growing closer together and to automatically frame it in a romantic light. It's not just that they're becoming better friends, it's that they're going to fuck. But that is only one outcome of many. It is a very specific endgame. If it does happen, all these previous interactions become romantic retroactively. In the case of these two though, they very much read as close friends. Or, and I hate to use this as a descriptor, they have big sibling energy. For example, the first episode that is really about them is one in which Beast Boy and Cyborg get trapped inside Raven's mind. You see, Beast Boy, he's great, he's nice, but he also be a dick? Having gone to the effort of making vegan scrambled eggs for the group, he is positively miffed when Raven doesn't want any, as in his mind, he just did this nice thing, and she is not even going to entertain the idea. All this work for her to be rude, and to use her powers to splatter it everywhere, when all he was trying to do is to get her to try something new, to do a nice thing. Which makes sense if you look at it from that perspective, but BB, for all his positives, can be self-centered in that he doesn't fully grasp what others are going through, especially if it isn't relevant to him. For example, the night before he made eggs, Raven almost killed a man.
Stop! You win! I surrender!
So despite that, and getting growled at, BB doesn't put it together that maybe he should give Raven some space and not try to cheer her up by shoving food in her face. She's going through some things, and not everyone can brush off emotional damage as well as he can. Everyone else in the tower gets this. It's why when he's being petty and talking shit about her, they all shake their heads and push him to apologize. As this is clearly Beast Boy making this more about him than acknowledging that Raven is going through a rough patch.
No, she's never once laughed at any of my jokes.
Shut up, you're so annoying!
He is questioning if they can even trust her, and really she's just not ready to tell her friends everything. Getting mad at her that she doesn't laugh at his jokes, which says more about him than her. BB fundamentally doesn't understand Raven. She hasn't explained her whole deal of being the Antichrist, but she shouldn't have to, with BB's trip through Raven's mind being all about him getting more insight into her personality and coming to respect their differences. He meets the emotions that she works to keep in check, learning that parts of her do appreciate him, just like how there are parts that want to kill him, as Raven is dealing with some personal demons, with Beast Boy demanding to know what's going on. But in a credit to his pushiness, refuses to abandon her to fight those demons, saving her, dismissing the idea that he never liked her, and buying her time along Cyborg when he could have easily escaped, allowing her to stop suppressing her emotions, fusing with them, and defeating the physical manifestation of her daddy issues. With BB and Raven coming to a better understanding of each other, Beast Boy realizes he was being a dick, and getting a glimpse at all Raven has to deal with, while Raven gets a little bit more comfortable letting others in. Beast Boy's pushiness is shown in a positive light, as he is ride or die, regardless of his whining. Fundamentally, these two are very different people. They are the least alike out of all the Titans. What one would consider fun, the other would consider dull, creating conflict, which is good. Something that I love about their relationship is that it never feels perfect. This isn't a Robin Starfire situation where, outside of one hang-up, they never really make mistakes in dealing with each other. Sure, Robin said,
I'm not your boyfriend!
but besides the extra superhero nonsense that comes between them, on a personal level, they are always chill. They never struggle to find the right thing to say. Contrasting this, Beast Boy and Raven can't go 2 sentences without making things personal. It's messy, but it's what makes them feel real, giving them real struggles and conflicts to overcome when they miscommunicate. For example, there was that one time Raven got groomed by an anime boy. Yeah, there's a lot of episodes about the Titans being manipulated by older men. Gotta warn kids somehow. So something that you have to keep in mind about Raven is that she isn't just an introvert, she's also the Antichrist. Her magical powers are directly tied to her emotions, meaning that if she isn't careful, they can flare up and risk hurting others. Raven doesn't get mad, she gets possessed, so it's imperative that she keeps calm and composed at all times. But an unintentional side effect of this is that it disincentivizes her from trying to hang out with people. It's not that she is just an introvert, there is a tangible risk to entering chaotic situations which could cause her stress. And the fact that she has been dealing with this her entire life, the social skills she could have developed to make these interactions easier aren't there. It's why her default is annoyed and throwing shade, as that's easier for someone who is always on edge. This is her way of surviving social situations. It's why she gets fatigued around others so easily and prefers the solitude of her own room, as at least there she has less to deal with. But just because it's comfortable doesn't mean that she really fully likes it. Raven, for all the snark, is insecure. She feels like she is different from the other kids, feeling bad for not having the same interests despite enjoying hers. With the person making her feel the worst about this being, of course,
Why can't you just have fun like normal people? Why do you have to be so creepy?
Beast Boy is the most immature of the Titans. We've established this. He's that painful combination of attention-seeking and a lack of self-awareness. He's just a teenager whose father didn't love him. We've all been there. Being raised by the Doom Patrol, Mento treated Beast Boy like a teammate first and a son never. The man threatened to kick Beast Boy off the team for choosing to save his family over attacking the villains, which tells you everything you need to know about their relationship and how Beast Boy was raised. He was encouraged to conform to this strict set of rules, so the second BB was on his own, he became the class clown that he was never allowed to be at home, seeing the newfound sense of freedom as a chance to do all the childish shenanigans he wanted, to not always having to control his impulses. But this comes at the cost of him not fully getting why others wouldn't want to do the same, like with Raven. She just wants to read a book, and he gets mad when she doesn't want to play with them, saying some dumb, hurtful things that cut Raven to her core.
I'm not
not creepy. I'm just different.
Raven is left feeling sick to her stomach after that interaction. Isolated and desperate for someone to understand her, it is in this bad state of mind that someone swoops in to take advantage of her. The person in this case being Malachor. Trapped in a book, he tells her everything she wants to hear, that she's not weird, only misunderstood by the idiots of the world. Bonding with her over a shared interest in books and magic, he makes her feel special, and most importantly, not alone, positioning himself as this older mentor boyfriend, when really he's just manipulating her into freeing him from his curse. Isolating her from her friends, trying to make her dependent on him, she truly thinks that they're in love, which is why she ignores all the red flags. Like how he never tells her that the magic he's been teaching her is dark magic, with her almost killing a child because of it. And the only reason that she didn't was because Beast Boy intervened. Yet in spite of that, she still trusts Malachor enough to do the spell, feeling like he's the only one that understands her. Releasing his true form, she does not take it well, but pulls herself together to seal her ex back in the book. Now through all this PSA on the dangers of grown men hanging out with children, Beast Boy has been trying to apologize for calling her creepy, being supportive but suspicious when she starts hanging out alone constantly with this guy, checking in on her when the man turned out to be a lying lizard, and within the aftermath we get a peek at what I think makes these two so great. As Beast Boy, this overly jokey, sometimes rude kid apologizes, telling Raven how sorry he is for what happened to her, talking through the door, not trying to force his way in or get in her face. He lets her know that while she may be strange to him, that doesn't mean he doesn't value her as a friend. And just because she's different doesn't mean that she has to isolate herself from everyone else. The Titans care about her, he cares about her, and she isn't alone. This is what makes them great together. Ignoring the romantic potential, Beast Boy learns to be a more mature person thanks to Raven. She in turn learns to let other people in and feel validated by having them in her life. The big personal beats of their characters are all told through this relationship. The show teaches us about accepting others, to not just look past differences, but to understand them. Alone, they're both good people, but together they become better ones. Which just might be at the heart of why people love shipping these two so much. More than just banter and how Raven keeps BB checked into reality, or opposites attract, it's the intimacy. Raven letting in Beast Boy and him learning the best way to show her that he cares. Even if it isn't framed romantically, intimacy with other people is something we all crave. So it makes sense that people would see this and interpret it as having romantic potential, especially since Western media is so hard-coded to make every guy-girl friendship a dating thing. These two already act like an old bickering married couple, so for them to have their biggest emotional moments together, it pretty much sealed the deal on the two of them being shipped. Like there was even that one time Beast Boy unlocked a werewolf mode, turning the nice guy into a nice guy as he mistakes being a dick for standing up for himself. With the conclusion being, even in his feral state, he still protected Raven from the other monster, beating down the other example of toxic masculinity, with Raven telling him that they're still cool. That yes, he was throwing a nothing tantrum because of all the steroids, but she knows better than anyone what it's like to have a monster inside of her, and how that doesn't also make them monsters. It's how they choose to let it out that determines who they are. In spite of everything, they are always in each other's corner. That said, if the show is actually shipping her with anybody, it would be Robin.
What the happened?
Yeah, this is the thing I always forget about. But Teen Titans, for all the great moments it gives Beast Boy and Raven's relationship, when it comes down to actual stakes, Robin is the one who is by her side.
Robin, you know me better than anyone.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Like, this is one of those funny relationships to look back on, as Robin and Raven do actually understand each other. Robin is the most mature out of the Titans, so he is completely okay with giving Raven her space, often telling BB off for when he oversteps, with Raven appreciating Robin's more hands-off approach, and that together, they get it. They have no problems. The thing is, though, this is more background information. Raven and Robin don't have much of a rapport until season 4, when Slade comes back from the dead, and suddenly Raven is forced to confront her destiny. And just as suddenly, Robin is promoted to her most important person, which felt a little weird, not gonna lie. It does make sense on paper, but in practice, it always felt a little unearned. The only real bonding episode that they have is Haunted, where Robin is hallucinating that Slade keeps beating his ass, with Raven entering his mind to help understand what's going on. However, she isn't the reason he comes out of it. She's the reason the other Titans believe in Robin, but that's kind of it. So imagine my shock when he rolls up in season 4, talking like they're super close, playing it off like they have this close psychic link, when in practice, the person who's bonded to her the most is Beast Boy. Yet Robin is the one here, making all the speeches, journeying into hell to get her back. It's not bad, but it does feel like they only picked him so that he can say Slade some more.
Slade, Slade, Slade.
When Slade takes her away, Robin is the one begging for her not to go. This man goes to hell for her, and he's the one telling her not to give up hope. I like this idea in theory. The Titans should be a team so that you can have anyone really be able to give these speeches. For these big climaxes though, it's just not built up enough to earn it. It might have been a bit repetitive to do it again after Terra, but out of all the Titans, Beast Boy is the one the show really wants to connect with Raven. So it's no surprise that every piece of media afterwards makes them a couple. They straight up started dating in Teen Titans Go. The comics are hooking them up. The fans that grew up with it are now the creators and bring the love they felt for this to light. And I think that's just so cool. Yes, it's doing the popular thing, but it's popular for a reason. More than anyone else, more than any other relationship, doesn't matter if it was friends, doesn't matter if they were dating, this show got you to care about them. And with all the change that's happened since then, you kinda just have to respect that. That said, I'm happy they're not together in the show. Yes, I ship them. Love me and opposites attract. Love how they complement and strengthen each other. However, in Teen Titans proper, I don't think they need to date. We get so painfully few guy-girl relationships that are strictly platonic. Even fewer where they are allowed to be emotionally vulnerable and intimate with each other. There is just this obsession with making every couple a couple, when it doesn't always have to be about that. It would be cool if they did, but it would have been extra. A nice little cherry on top of an already great sundae. As is though, I think the lessons they teach are way more impactful if they come from two friends versus lovers. As rather than waiting for that one special someone, love and acceptance can be found in anyone, and we can give it just as easily. Thank you all for watching. This has been You Already Know. Please like, share, and subscribe. I keep saying that. Apparently it works. Let me know what your favorite ship in Teen Titans was, tell me why you liked Beast Boy and Raven, and please, don't try and lecture me about why Robin and Raven worked. I will say though, I do think Damien and Raven do have potential.